kids, welcome back. The eggs are finishing up their community service with the Albumen Omelette Oasis and the seniors that live there. Remember, Reggie kept sneezing and everyone thought he was getting sick. They were concerned about the older residents catching a virus. Let's check in and see what's happening. On Monday morning, Miss Poach helped the eggs plan their visits to the Omelette Oasis. I have a schedule for each of you, as she handed them a piece of paper with their assigned activities. Sigourney, look, I get to polish nails with the ladies at the beauty salon, exclaimed Meg. Cool, and I get to lead aerobics with the residents next Saturday. I can't wait to show them my moves. Sigourney began to do jumping jacks, but I want to make sure I get some painting time in with Great Aunt Flo. You will, said Meg. She'll teach you a lot. I bet you will paint a masterpiece. Meg and Sigourney giggled. Gregory scratched his head as he looked over his assignment. Miss Poach, what's shuffleboard? Gregory, shuffleboard is a game. Remember we saw the triangle-shaped number boards painted on the ground? You use a paddle to push the pucks so they glide to the other side of the board, and then you add up the score. Oh, I remember now. That looked like a lot of fun, he replied. I'll be good at that. He turned to Reggie. What's your assignment? Reggie adjusted his glasses. Well, I get to read with the residents in the library. I'm also going to lead their story time. I can't wait to make up great stories like Uncle Jokus. Maybe he'll help me. I'm sure he would love that, said Meg. Well, I have the best assignment of all, added Benedict. I'm going to work in the garden with the residents. I love to get my hands dirty. Actually, Benedict, I have the best assignment of all, said Peggy. I get to watch movies with the residents in the theater. I'll be helping them to their seats, getting them popcorn, and making sure they are comfortable. Plus, I get to stay for the movies. Children, I'm glad you're pleased with your assignments, and don't forget about our holiday concert. We'll want to start practice next week, said Miss Poach. The eggs finished the day with their school lessons and went home to share the news of their assignments with their parents. The next few Saturdays were busy at the Omelette Oasis. The eggs carried out their assigned duties and made sure to share their experiences with each other. Meg, I can't wait for you to see my painting, said Sigourney. Great Aunt Flo has been teaching me different kinds of brush strokes and a lot of other things about painting, like shading and color. She is wonderful. When can I see it? Asked Meg. It should be done soon, she replied. Okay, well, I did some painting of my own today, said Meg. I polished 10 ladies' nails. I used pinks, purples, reds, and even some blue sparkles. They all came out beautiful. Sounds like fun, replied Sigourney. I need some rest, though. I'm tired from leading the aerobics class this morning. Just then the boys walked up. We're tired too, said Gregory. I played shuffleboard all morning. Benedict worked in the garden and Reggie read books and told stories. We need some rest. Oh, my aching back, added Benedict. Hi, everyone, said Peggy as she walked up. I had a great morning. I saw 2 awesome movies that I never heard of before. They were from another era, I think, but they sure were wonderful. Meg's mom joined the eggs in the lobby and they left for home. Children, remember next week is Thanksgiving and we'll be spending it here at the Omelette Oasis. We will have a full dinner with everyone. That sounds great, said Peggy. I know they have ketchup here because I saw it in the dining room. I love ketchup on my turkey. That's gross, Peggy, replied Benedict. Not to me, she answered. Achoo! Reggie let out a loud sneeze again. Reggie, you really need to go to the doctor, said Sigourney. You've been sneezing for weeks. I'm fine, he replied. I really am. Thanksgiving arrived and the eggs and their families enjoyed the holiday dinner with the residents. Turkey, gravy, mashed potatoes, sweet potatoes, stuffing, rolls, cranberry sauce, and even ketchup were on the table. The eggs not only ate with the residents, but they cleaned up too. They were exhausted at the end of the day and went home for some well-deserved rest. I spoke to my mom and dad on the phone earlier, said Peggy on the ride home. I missed them today, but my mom said she's coming out for our holiday concert. I told her we've been practicing almost every day after school. That's great, Peggy. I'm glad things are going so well, replied Reggie. You know who I missed today? Uncle Jokus. He wasn't at dinner. I wonder where he was. Reggie's mom hesitated, but then looked in the rearview mirror at him. Son, I have something to tell you. Meg's mom told me today that Uncle Yokas was taken to the hospital. He has pneumonia. Pneumonia? That's awful, exclaimed Reggie. He adjusted his glasses and sat silent for a minute. Suddenly, he began to cry hysterically. Oh no, it's all my fault. I sneezed in his room. He got pneumonia from me. He caught my cold germs. Reggie took off his glasses and put his face in his hands as he sobbed uncontrollably. Reggie's mom tried to console him. Reggie, it's not your fault. Please don't think that. Peggy felt awful, though. She wondered if Uncle Yokas did get pneumonia from him. Just then, she remembered something Great Aunt Flo said. Reggie, Great Aunt Flo said you could have an allergy, remember? Maybe you don't have a cold. An allergy? Inquired Reggie's mom. That's funny, she said as she scratched her head. Now that I think about it, I did change laundry detergents a few weeks ago. I wonder if you're allergic to that. I'll get you to the doctor tomorrow. In the meantime, I'll stop using the new detergent. Do you think it could be an allergy, Mom? I sure hope so. I would feel terrible if I gave Uncle Yokas my cold germs. Reggie's voice cracked as he dried his tears. We'll find out tomorrow, she replied. The next morning, as Reggie and his mom left the doctor's office, they felt some relief. I'm so glad you don't have any signs of a cold. We'll stop using the new laundry detergent for at least a week, like the doctor said, and see if your sneezing goes away. I'm sorry, Reggie. I had no idea it would cause an allergy for you. Mom, it's not your fault. You had no idea. I just hope Uncle Yokas will be okay, replied Reggie. A few weeks passed and it was nearly time for the holiday concert. The Eggs had been practicing for weeks and were ready to give an amazing show for the residents. As Meg and Sigourney were walking home from school, they were discussing the upcoming event. I'm excited about the concert, Meg. I'm also a little nervous because I have a solo. You'll be great, Sigourney. The residents will love you, especially Great Aunt Flo. By the way, how is your painting coming? Why don't you stop by my house now and I'll show you, answered Sigourney. Okay, I can't wait to see it. The girls arrived at Sigourney's house. Meg waited in the living room as Sigourney went to retrieve her painting. She brought out a large square canvas wrapped in beautiful silver paper. It had a sparkly red bow tied around it. Here, Meg, this is for you, said Sigourney as she handed over the package. For me? Questioned Meg. Yes, I've been working on this painting with Great Aunt Flo so I could give it to you as a gift. Open it. Meg tore off the wrapping paper, admired the painting with a long stare, and then began to cry. She ran to Sigourney and gave her a great big hug. It's beautiful, she said as she wiped her tears off her cheeks. It's you and me in Italy, standing in front of the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Yep, that was my favorite picture of us, so I thought I would paint it for you. I hope you like it, said Sigourney. Meg replied, Like it? I love it! Thanks, Sigourney. I'm going to hang it in my room when I get home. The girls sat for a while and had a cup of hot cocoa. They began to recall funny times they had during their travels last year and ended up talking and laughing for 2 more hours. The last day of school before Christmas break finally arrived. Miss Poach asked the Eggs if they had thought about how they could connect the Albumen Omelette Oasis with the wider world. Gregory raised his hand and smiled proudly as he explained. Miss Poach, we've been in contact with our friends Lishi in Australia and Takumi in Japan. They've set up pen pals for elderly residents in their countries to write to our residents of the Omelette Oasis. They'll write to each other once a month. We can help with their letter writing too. Coach Flo thought it would be a great idea. That is a great idea, exclaimed Miss Poach. You Eggs are wonderful ambassadors. She gave them each a hug. Now be on time tonight for the concert. Everyone's looking forward to it. We will, Miss Poach, we will. They raced home and got ready for the evening. When they arrived at the Omelette Oasis, Reggie ran down the hallway to apartment 4A where Uncle Yokas lived. He anxiously pounded on the door and waited for a minute. Disappointed, he began to walk away when he realized the door wasn't opening. Just then, Reggie heard the doorknob turn. Uncle Yokas, is that you? He asked. The door swung open with a whoosh, and Reggie heard that familiar laugh. Yep, it's me. Uncle Yokas held his arms out, and Reggie ran to him. I heard you thought it was your fault I had pneumonia. Well, I can tell you, no way. The doc said I could have picked up a germ anywhere, but look at me now. I feel great. He pounded his chest with his fists and Reggie began to laugh. "I'm so relieved, Uncle Yokus." He gave him another hug, and guess what? I had an allergy. I haven't sneezed in a week since my mom stopped using her new laundry detergent. Glad to hear it. Come on now, let's get to that concert. I've been working with your friend Benedict this week, and we have a little surprise for everyone. They locked arms and walked over to the concert area where the Eggs' parents and all the residents were anxiously awaiting the performance. Peggy was most excited as she waved to her mom in the crowd. Her mom smiled and waved back. "I'm so happy my mom is here," she whispered to Meg. "Me too, Peggy. Things have really worked out well for you in the last year." Peggy smiled and thanked Meg for her support. The concert began with a happy, delightful tune. The melodies continued on for an hour, and the Eggs even took some requests from the crowd. Sigourney's solo was lovely and was met with a booming round of applause. Soon it was time for the last song. Benedict stepped out in front and addressed the audience. "I've been working with Uncle Yokus this week on our last song, It's a Surprise, and we would like to dedicate this to the residents of the Omelette Oasis." Uncle Yokus came up and joined Benedict. The music began. Benedict and Uncle Yokus began to sing and dance together. Every note and every step was in sync. The residents began to clap along with the routine. Step after step, verse after verse, Benedict and Uncle Yokus wowed the crowd. At the end of the routine, they received a standing ovation. After the applause, the residents and parents congratulated the Eggs on the best concert ever. "It looks like Uncle Yokus is 100%, happily shouted Reggie. "I think we're all 100%, said Peggy as she smiled and tightly hugged her mom. Oh my gosh, what a fun holiday party! And what a great way to wrap up their time of service for the residents of the Albumen Omelette Oasis. Reggie was sure relieved Uncle Yokus was okay. And what about that painting Sigourney made with Great Aunt Flo's art lessons? Meg loved it. The Eggs sure learned a lot from the residents, and together they really enjoyed each other's company. Did you ever ask the older folks in your life about their stories of their early years? If not, try again. I'm sure they can teach you a few things too. Maybe even watch a vintage movie together, or learn a new dance step or two like Benedict did with Uncle Yokus. So much fun! Next month, the Eggs will serve their local animal shelter. I'll see you then. Thanks for listening, and thanks for being a good egg. To learn more, visit www.thegooteggs.org. You'll find information on the Good Eggs book series, lesson plans, word search and crossword puzzles, and more. You can also learn about the Good Eggs Foundation and how we serve our community. There's a lot to see on our website, so be sure to check it out. That's www.thegooteggs.org. Thank you.